Hi guys, I hope you're well. Today I'm so excited to do my weekly wrap up and tell you everything that I read this past week. I have it all together in this cute little basket that I bought to keep all the books that I read in so that I've got them all ready for the videos. It's a really cool little basket. I just got it from Homebase. Whoa, calm down. They're all in here living like a little family, like a little society. What? I think my obsession with books just reached another level when I gave them little personalities there and said they were living together like a society. Moving swiftly on from that mad episode, last week I said I wanted to read graphic novels, any graphic novels, comics, anything like that, and I did that. I read 2 graphic novels, I read 2 children's books, although one of them I'm not sure if it is children's, and 1 adult novel. Now I have really mixed views and opinions on all these things, so I'm just going to get straight into it. First up, I'm going to start with the children's books that I read this week. Warhorse by Michael Morpurgo. This is the movie cover. This is obviously a very famous story. Got turned into a movie, been turned into a theatre production. Loads of people know it. It's basically narrated from a horse's perspective throughout the whole book. Very kind of Watership Down vibes there. And it takes you through this horse's life from being a foal and then becoming a farm horse, and then the First World War starts and the horse becomes a war horse. The horse can understand English, so it's not completely, out of the loop. It can understand English, but it's still that child naivety of not quite knowing what's to come. I thought this was really beautiful. It was about the tragedies of war, it was about the people that the horse comes in contact with. There's a boy at the beginning who the horse forms a connection with, and that's really beautiful, although that wasn't my favourite part of the book. There was another bit where the horse goes and lives with a man and his granddaughter, and that made me cry. Even though nothing massive happened, it was just like a beautiful relationship, and I loved that relationship with the little girl. I thought it was so beautiful. But anyway, this young boy, his dad sells the horse off to the army, and the boy says, "One day I'm going to find you." I really enjoyed it, but I'm not sure this is a children's book. I think a lot of children would have a very hard time understanding this, and I also think that the ending was too Hollywood for me. There was a lot of casualties of war, which I felt the book really spoke about and was beautiful, but then there was kind of a fairness and kindness to the end of it, which that's not really what war is. And I felt like this book tried to put a happy spin, a silver lining on the end, and it was just all a bit Hollywood and a bit far-fetched for me. But I thought the rest of the book was beautiful, absolutely stunning. So yeah. I then read The Cat Ate My Jumpsuit by Paula Danziger. How 80s is this cover? I love it. Basically, it's about this girl. She's our main character. She's a bit sassy and sarcastic, and I love that about her. She has really low self-esteem, and it kind of touches upon that a lot in the book. It's very beautiful. But the main plot is they have a new English teacher. This English teacher is a bit radical. She's telling them to think for themselves and all these different stuff, and they absolutely love her, and she gets them interested in English and learning and all this different stuff. Then they find out that teacher has been sacked, and they have to find out why she's been sacked. They form this whole petition to try and get her back, this whole movement to try and get her back because they love her so much and she's changed their lives so much. And this was really good. The reason she gets fired is because she refuses to pledge allegiance to the flag. Now, we don't have that in England, but in America you have to pledge allegiance to the flag, and it's like a patriotic thing. If you don't believe in that for political reasons or another religion, that's fine, you don't have to do it. But because she's a teacher, the school are like, you have to do it, you have to set an example, and it's about that. I thought this was really good. It didn't really go into why she doesn't pledge allegiance to the flag. It brushed upon it slightly. It reminded me quite a bit of To Kill a Mockingbird. It wasn't as good as To Kill a Mockingbird. In To Kill a Mockingbird, I don't think Scout changes that much. I think she sees the unfairness of it, but she's too young to understand. But I think her brother, because he's just that bit older than her, it has a profound effect on him, and he's like, the world is so unfair and I get it. He can see it a lot more clearer than she can. She just is a bit baffled by it all, isn't she? Whereas he has grown massively, and that's what this book reminded me of. It's not necessarily about this teacher not pledging allegiance to the flag or being fired, or is she going to get a job back. It's not really about that. It's about how the kids work together and the effect it has upon them. I absolutely loved this girl. There's a bit in it where a boy who's her friend, she really likes him and she thinks he's going to kiss her, and it's like her inner thoughts. She's like, oh my god, he's going to kiss me. Oh my god, I hope he doesn't. Oh no, I hope he does. And then he kisses her on the forehead and she's like, my life as a sex fiend has ended before it's even begun. Just such an odd lines like that where it's like, what? I really, really loved this. The adult novel that I read is Drive by James Sallis. Very famous book. It got turned into a famous film with, you know, him on it. I think it's Ryan Gosling. Very famous. Basically, it's about a man who he drives. He just drives. And he says that line a million times throughout the book. I just drive. During the day, he drives on movie sets. He's like a stunt man, stunt driver, that's what he does. And then at night, he drives for criminals. He doesn't really want to know anything about the films that he's involved in during the day. He doesn't care, and he doesn't want to know about the crimes that he drives for at night because he just drives, that's all he does. I thought when this was talking about his childhood, it was really good and really interesting, but the rest of it was so overly done, like I drive, I drive, I drive. And just by saying that word, kind of assuming that that's cool. But I don't, what? Like, you drive, okay, I get it, but you don't just say it a million times at me. And then at the end of every chapter there'd be a profound line. So you knew it was coming at the end of every chapter. So sometimes it'd be so anticlimactic, but that's not really how, like, the writing I like. I like writing like Toni Morrison, where you'll be reading her book and it'll just be like a normal conversation between two people, and then one of them will say something like how they're feeling or just shout something at the other person, and you're like, oh my god, that's like amazing writing because you just like hit me so unexpectedly. It's beautiful, it's powerful, it's emotional. Wow. And I felt like he was trying to do this by saying, like, at the end of every chapter I'm gonna have a profound line. But it wasn't good enough because you were telling us when to be like emotionally attached, you know. At the end you'll get a good, like, no. I think he's a really good writer, and there were certain lines in it that I really loved when he was talking about life in general, and I was like, oh yeah, that's so true. It's sad, but it's so true. But just because it was put in such a structured way, it didn't really have any impact in me because I was waiting for it to happen. Whereas if you would have put it more in the text, it would have made sense. Am I making sense? I hope you're getting what I mean. I didn't like it. I really, no, bae, no. And last but not least, I read 2 graphic novels. First up, I read Beautiful Darkness. This is a French graphic novel and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Now, I've actually done a review video on this, which will be up in like the next few days, so I don't want to say too much. And in the review video, I don't really say a lot about it. I just say, go into it completely blind, know that there's these magical creatures who aren't as sweet as you think they are. They're living inside of something. For some reason, they have to go outside into the wilderness, into this forest, and build a community and try and survive. And it's all done in this really beautiful watercolour palette, which is just, oh, that's just absolutely stunning. So gorgeous, but it's kind of a parody because it's got this beautiful kind of vintage children fiction drawings within it, but it's gruesome and scary and macabre, and I absolutely adored it. But I am going to talk about it more when I do my review on it. And then I read Jane the Fox and Me, which again is a French novel. Now, why it's called Jane the Fox and Me is because we have our young girl, who's our main character, who's being bullied, and I loved her, and I also related to her so much within like my own childhood. And then we have Jane Eyre, because the girl is reading Jane Eyre, and you have her kind of escaping into this book realm, which is beautiful that she has that escape, but it's so sad that she needs it so desperately because she hates her life. And then we have a fox, which the fox is a really small part in it. There's an actual fox, she just sees this fox for a minute. It's a very small part, but I think it really worked. I cried at the fox bit. It's such a small scene, I don't know what happened. I just think there was something about the way it was put into this book that I was just like, oh my god, that's stunning. That's so clever. It's how she's so desolate and she just wants this animal to be near her. It was just so sad and beautiful in that bit. I'll show you some of the colour palette. This actually isn't a graphic novel. This is a children's book, although I think as a child I wouldn't have really understood this. Beautiful pencil drawings. I just wanted to show you this one here. There's all these little faces in like the mist, so they don't actually have heads. So some of them have heads, the front ones, and then at the back they've just got like eyes, nose and a mouth to like try and build up a crowd, which is just done beautifully. When it goes into the bits when she's reading Jane Eyre, it goes into colour. I will say, I haven't read Jane Eyre, and this is so spoilery for the book Jane Eyre. That's the only thing I would say. Now I know how Jane Eyre ends. I connected to it because of times of my life. So I was very shy, where people were like, we don't want you in our group because you're really shy. And it was like, oh, okay then. At break times, get all the stuff out of my bag. So I'd find a bench and I'd get all the things out of my bag and I'd lay it on top of the bench and pretend to be looking for something, and then I'd put all the stuff back in my bag and look at my watch and be like, oh god, I've still got like break time, let me do that again and again and again. And in this she does it where she tries to stay busy, so look like she's doing something, so look like she's eating or look like she's tying her shoe, because normally if you just stand in a playground by yourself and people can see that you are isolated, you're by yourself, you don't have any friends, they will bully you. And that's a really, really sad fact, but that definitely happened at my school. That's why I always used to pretend that I was like busy when I was in and out of friendship groups. And I'd forgotten that I used to do that at break times. I completely had forgotten. And then when she said, I've always got to look busy, that's when I was like, oh god, of course. And it was kind of beautiful to remind me, obviously sad because it was a sad time in my life, but I have such a place in my heart for this book. I love it. I just thought this was absolutely stunning. I did the storyline, the art, the way in which it was written, everything. I just want to like thank the book and be like, thank you, we've had good times. Thank you for the memories. That's how the books are read. And that's it, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then feel free to subscribe or like or comment or tweet me, or I never really say my links, but I have like Twitter, Instagram, a book blog, a second channel. I have all these things that you can follow me on, and I don't know what this accent is. Bought some more books. I went to like an antique place and they had all these books and they were really cheap and they were really old and really beautiful, and they're like the most beautiful books I've ever bought, so get ready for that. There's just so many of them in my like cave of books that are all like, you haven't even read us yet and yet you bought new ones, how rude. So I feel like they're all shouting at me. I'm sorry, I've read quite a few this week, sorry. And yeah, bye. A se venia. Para bichis too.